What if I told you that the truth about AI in political campaigns could be much uglier than you think? In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the failed experiments, voter backlash, and why campaigns are desperately trying to keep their AI use a secret. I'm going to explain how this is backfiring on politicians who use AI, and if you stick around to the end, I'm just going to come up with the most nefarious, dastardly potential use of AI in political manipulation that I was able to concoct from the darker parts of my imagination. I'm Evan Goldstein. I'm a licensed professional engineer and a data scientist. I'm closely watching what is a very tight election. Every weapon that can be used is being used to gain the slightest edge in the battleground states and turn the battle to the right or the left. Over 30 tech companies have been trying to sell AI tools to political campaigns for the upcoming November election. But so far, the campaigns aren't really biting, at least not publicly. The New York Times reported on Matthew Diemer, a Democrat running for Congress in Ohio. Now, back in January, this AI company called Civox pitched him an idea. They could use AI voice tech that can make thousands of personalized calls to voters using Diemer's talking points and even his sense of humor. Diemer thought so too and decided to give it a shot. And boy, did it backfire. Turns out that voters hate AI calls even more than regular robocalls. This AI made almost 1,000 calls in just 5 minutes, but almost everyone hung up as soon as they heard it was an AI volunteer. People just didn't want to be on the phone, especially not with an AI. He thinks maybe people aren't ready for this tech yet. And outside of Diemer's fizzled attempts, campaigns aren't really going for it. And the ones who are keeping it on the down low. Some companies said campaigns would only buy their tech if they promised never to tell anyone they used AI. So why are campaigns so hesitant and secretive? It turns out voters are pretty nervous about AI. Campaign polls show people don't trust it, especially when it comes to creating fake photos or videos of candidates. There have already been some AI mishaps during this election cycle. Remember the AI robocall that sounded like President Biden during the New York Hampshire primary, where it was calling Democratic voters and telling them not to switch parties to vote for Nikki Haley in order to prevent Trump from being elected? Yeah, that didn't go over well. People were outraged at the deep fake, and law enforcement even got involved, and there was even a jail sentence involved. Just the other day, Trump posted some AI-generated images of Taylor Swift endorsing him. And as you can imagine, the Swifties were not happy about that. And if you want to help this channel swiftly break out of small channel hell, I would urge you to push the like button. Pushing like lets me know that I'm making content you want to see, and it helps spread these episodes to others. And I thank you genuinely for your support. Political campaigns already have trust issues. No candidate wants to be accused of posting deepfakes or using AI to trick voters. AI skepticism isn't just in politics, by the way. It's happening all over right now. Remember when everyone was going crazy about AI a little while back? Well, the hype is starting to die down, and they're talking about putting the brakes on the AI industry with new regulations. Which is funny because just 6 months ago, it was a totally different story. All these tech companies were jumping on the election bandwagon, hoping to cash in on campaign funds. They were creating chatbots and AI image generators, making virtual candidate clones that could interact with voters, and pretty wild stuff. One of the companies involved in trying to reach out to the voters is Be Human in New York. Their tech can personalize videos of candidates for voters. Imagine a candidate records themselves talking about an issue, and then Be Human's AI can clone their face and voice to make new videos. They could even tweak it to say your name or talk about specific issues you care about. Be Human's even got a project that makes a digital copy of a candidate. It can mimic their writing style, answer emails, or chat with voters online. Be Human's wouldn't say which campaigns, if any, were actually using their product. There's another company called Personalized.ai based in India, and they worked with over 30 politicians in India's recent elections. They made videos where AI versions of candidates interacted with voters on LinkedIn and campaign websites. They even sent personalized videos to people's phones through WhatsApp and text messages. The CEO, Santosh Thota, said it went great in India, and they're seeing interest from other countries in Southeast Asia and Africa. But when it comes to the US and Europe, not so much. Remember Civox, the company that worked with the Ohio candidate? They're still trying to figure out how to make their tech work for voters. Besides the AI voice stuff, they've got chatbots that can answer voters' questions for a campaign. Now, some campaigns are a bit more open to using AI behind the scenes, organizing email lists and voter databases, but they're still pretty cautious about it. When the Ohio candidate Diemer first started working with Civox, he wanted to use his own voice for the AI calls, but Civox was like, nah, let's use a clearly artificial voice so the voters know it's AI and we're being transparent. Civox didn't say how much their tech costs, but they worked with about a dozen campaigns over 4 months, making hundreds of thousands of robocalls to test their AI. Now, what we've talked about here are issues that are in the open. AI robocalls that identify themselves as AI AI deepfakes of Donald Trump in a church with 6 fingers, but to be more effective, the technology would have to be invisible to the voter. Now, the campaigns aren't really telling us about this, but I think we can guess at some other ways AI is being deployed in the campaign trail. For example, AI is likely being used to analyze massive data sets of voter information, social media activity, polling data, etc., to build highly sophisticated models for predicting voter behavior and identifying key swing voters or demographics. Machine learning also makes real-time sentiment analysis possible. Natural language processing AI could monitor social media, news coverage, and other sources in real time to gauge public sentiment around candidates, issues, and events. This allows campaigns to rapidly respond to developing narratives. Machine learning is almost certainly being deployed to optimize fundraising strategies, and this can be done by analyzing donor data and by predicting the most effective messages, timing, and donation amounts to requests from different supporter segments. Machine learning models could identify likely supporters who aren't registered to vote yet, and then optimize the get out to vote efforts to target those individuals. All right, that's nice, but I'm pretty cynical about politics. So let's think of some ways that AI could really be used to cheat in this election. Let's peek at the dark side. So first off, obviously, there's the deep fakes. I've gone over that in previous episodes, but fake videos and audio recordings can depict candidates engaging in misconduct. But this sort of deep faking can be micro-targeted. Just as machine learning can figure out which voters are more likely to vote for a particular candidate by looking at your social media associations, income, phone usage, etc., algorithms can discover the deepest fears of the reptilian part of your brain. They can then target these fears with customized deepfake advertisements. AI can also be used to drive voter suppression. So let's picture this. You live in Springfield, but you don't remember where your polling place is. So you perform a search for polling places in Springfield, Illinois. Now, unbeknownst to you, Google has had a very, very hard time filtering through the AI-generated crap content flooding the internet in order to find the kernels of useful information. So instead of sending you an official government website, Google turns up a result that looks like a government website. But actually, it's a website that me, your local crooked politician, built and SEO optimized for just this purpose, to outrank the official government site. You go to this site unknowing that I've done this, and you fill in your address. Before the election day, my algorithm has already compiled a master list of all voters and calculated their likelihood of voting for my favorite candidate, me. If you were voting for my favorite candidate, me, the website would direct you to the accurate polling place. But you're not voting for me, are you? Because you know I'm crooked. Now, the algorithm determines that based on your income, education, and social media usage, you're 80% likely to vote for the other candidate. So the algorithm spits out a fake address on the other side of town as the polling place and claims that the poll closes at 10 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. You've been running behind schedule, so by the time you put the kids to bed and get out the door, it's already 9:30. When you arrive at the address my website gave you, you look around the place, it looks dark and abandoned. You search online again to double check. Well, that's weird. The website I had set up before has vanished once the polls closed. You find the legit website with the actual polling place, but too late. Your vote has been suppressed. Yeah, so nobody actually do this, please. But this is the sort of nefarious scheme that a conniving political campaign could come up with, using technology that's already out there. Thank God our politicians are ethical.